Hi, and welcome to this video tutorial on how you can use Microsoft Excel to perform data analysis and visualization. So this is in the aim of getting the most out of your data in case if you don't already have an analytical tool. So Excel can be a good analytical tool, and we're going to see that in a moment. So data plays a crucial role in all organizations when they want to make decisions that drive them forward, or when they want to pivot on some business challenge that they've encountered. Data can be a handy tool for a company to make the correct decisions and aid them in their decision making processes. So before you get started, I will introduce you to some of the key steps that you might want to do first before we get started on this course. And some of these things that you have to accomplish, or they are called the core elements of any data analysis project. Number one is you have to define your objectives. That means getting to know what are the business questions that need answered. What are the problems that needs to be solved? What are the objectives of these analytics? So this involves sitting down with your stakeholders or your managers or business owners, or your audience, those who need to see some form of analytics. After that, you need to collect data. If it's not already there, you need to collect it. But if it's already there, it's maybe in some database, or you've been recording it for a number of years or months. Then you also need to clean and transform your data after you've collected. Cleaning and transformation involves removing unwanted pieces of your data, or those things that are not needed, or getting it into a format that is useful for analytics. Once you've done that, you can now model and perform your analysis, create measures, create KPIs to find the insights that you need and to get the patterns and know your data more. And once you finish that, you can create visualizations, or what we call charts, graphs, so that it's easier for your audience to understand instead of seeing it as raw data. So charts, graphs, and other visual aids that represent your data are handy tools that you might need when performing the data analytics. So for those who prefer a more technical term, this is what is called the data science methodology, summarized in 5 key steps. Although the first option might not really require a tool or a software, it's the second to the last steps that really require some form of software to perform. So there are quite a number. We can start with the most basics like Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel, Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, SAS, and SAP Lumira, just to name a few. There are plenty of tools that you can use. So these are some of the most common or most easy to use and user-friendly and available tools that you have out there. However, Excel is quite a diverse tool. It has all the features you might want in a spreadsheet and more. So that will be the main focus in this tutorial. Excel, because it's the most available software, and most users have some knowledge of Microsoft Excel. So let's look at some of the features that make Excel a good analytical tool. And this is purely based on these steps that we discussed earlier. So when it gets to collecting data and cleaning and transformation, your data might already exist in another format. Maybe it's in a CSV file, it's in a text file, or some other format, or it might also be in a database that might not necessarily have the tools to perform data analytics. So Excel allows you to connect to these other data sources like files and databases, and transform the data the way you need it to be, so that you can perform analytics. And that is made possible through Power Query. So Power Query allows you to connect to other sources of data and other files and import them into Excel. And while you're importing, you can transform them and clean them up. Once you've imported them, you can use the Power Pivot to create advanced analytics and measures. So these are just and create relationships between your data. So Power Pivot has some formulas, advanced formulas, what we are called data analysis expressions that might not necessarily be available inside the spreadsheet itself. We shall look at that later. And then you have pivot tables. So pivot tables allow you to compare your data in a tabular format and create visualizations from these pivot tables through the pivot charts. So we are going to look at all these features in Excel and see how you can use them in your data analysis. So with me, I have some sample data set which we are going to use in these analytics. So this is the budget created in this format. So from the first look, it looks a bit okay, but this format cannot help us when performing a data analytics because we cannot use the Excel functions and formulas the way they were designed. Then these are the items. We might not really need the inventory levels. Then these are the items. As you can see, they also have kind of a tabular format, but the table headers are distributed in 2 rows, which is not good when performing data analytics as well. So we are going to clean that up too. Then this is the LPOs. So the LPOs have the same format. The column heads are distributed in 2 rows, which is not desirable in a data model. So we are going to clean that too with Power Pivot, Power Query, sorry. Then lastly we are going to have the suppliers. So we have a small sample of suppliers. So this also is not very well laid out. It's distributed. Each supplier has their own rows, which is not ideal for a data model. So we are going to see how we can also clean this up so that we only have these as the columns. Let me put them here, so that we only have these as the columns, and then all the supplier list goes down here. I created this data using ChatGPT. So ChatGPT can help you when you want to learn a few things in data. You can tell it to create for you some data, and it's going to do so. So this is fictitious data, not really actual data, but it's enough to get us to get the ball rolling